I've been thinking. I've been thinking about thinking. And what we call that? It's epistemology. How we know what we know. Therefore, what we're thinking. Have you examined your thinking lately? I'm a communicator. For the last 4 months, really, I've been just really at work day and night. I got up this morning at 4, and that was late because the night before I got up at 1. Sat down and started thinking, setting my thinking to words because I'm writing a book. Now, you have to watch it. You have to watch it when you're talking. But when you're writing a book, hey, they might forget what you say. I have a little verse about why I write. When we write, when we preach, we carve in vapor. When we write, we carve in stone. What we say will be forgotten. What we write lives on and on. So you got to think. And then you got to think about what you're thinking and write it and then think about it again. And you know, if you're a writer, if you're an author, one of the rules, rewrite, rewrite, rewrite. And I have an idea that there is a way something can be said that will maximize what it means. And that's my supposition when I'm writing anything. So what I want to do today is back up a claim that the Bible at base is a kingdom book. It's a book about a kingdom. Well, now, how can you say that? Well, a kingdom has a ruler, is comprised of a ruler, a domain over which he rules, and principles that operate between the king and his kingdom. Well, do you have any doubt about this? You're in trouble if you do. Excuse me, but there is a God who runs this whole outfit. He does it well because he happens to be flawless in character. In fact, we have 3 or 4 words about that. He's flawless, limitless in time. He's eternal. He's limitless in presence. He's everywhere. He's limitless in knowledge. He is omniscient. He is infinite in power. He is omnipotent. And this is our God. If you want to start studying anything in the world, if you want to examine any realm of reality, any subject anybody can bring up, starting in the wrong place will guarantee a wrong destination and an unfortunate journey. So let's think about thinking. Are you hung up on something? It wakes you up at night. It clouds your thinking about things you watch on television, read in the newspaper, listen to your preacher, or listen to the politicians. I can get disturbed pretty easy there. And it's not right. If we keep a proper perspective. If there is pain in things you're thinking about, it's a demonstration that you have gotten off the road of proper thinking. I'm working on a document right now. I've written it out. Thinking correctly about everything. I think that's possible. And one way to do that is to keep your thinking under honest awareness, supposing that there might be some flaw in the way you're perceiving something. Perception or attitude is everything. It's more important than time. It's more important than the past. It's more important than trouble. It's more important than ambition. It's more important than money. Attitude and perspective is more important than anything you deal with in this walk. And I'm talking about, hey, I believe in God. I believe God is creator. I believe that when we talk about in the beginning, which I'll be talking about in future times together, in the beginning, you know what that means? That means there was a beginning to all of this. And in the beginning, God. You are not aware, nor am I, of what that means. That means if I believe that something happened at a given time, and whoever it happened to or from, and especially in this case, being perfect, purposeful, absolutely integrated in every way, loving, lasting, and all the other things that give us trouble with life, things that don't last, things that do last that ought not to last, pain, trouble, disappointment, frustration, weakness, and all of this. So think about your thinking. Now here is where you can test whether your thinking is right. Is there anything that you are thinking about, sometime involuntary? You don't choose it, it just comes up. And it changes everything. I awakened this morning. Sometimes do. I wake up, I'm like the lady, they asked her if she woke up grouchy every morning. She said, no, I just let him sleep. Well, I was the one. I woke up a little grouchy in my spirit. I'm not feeling exactly well. I was feeling guilty. I wasn't feeling good about myself. Now, that comes often, but every once in a while it comes with real speed. And I began to believe some of it. And so I just stopped and I said, I'm not going to take this. This is not from God. God's a happy God. He loves me. He loves me as I am, but if he can make me better, he's willing to make me feel a little bad about where I am to get me where I ought to be or can be, and if that's so, where I want to be. So let me just give you an illustration, 3 or 4 minute illustration. Times were bad for the good folks. The kings were wicked. They ruled over the people mercilessly, used them to their own advantage, got wealthy off the people. They were murderous. They thought of themselves and nobody else. There came into that kingdom 4 men. They were taken prisoner because they had been in Judea, and they were brought into the kingdom to serve the king. And they were from a people that had a knowledge of being quick to learn and being of a bent that they could behave themselves. They were likable. They were disciplined. And this king brought them in and put them in school to learn the ways of the kingdom, which they did. And he knew something was different about them. They were fed the best the king had. They were taken care of. They were going to serve the king, top level. And they told the one caring for them under the king, hey, we don't want all the king's food. We want to live on vegetables, and we'll tell you what we want to eat. And he said, well, that's not going to make the king feel good because he wants you to eat plenty and learn well. And so one of them said, I'll tell you what let's do. You let us have what we want. Food for health. And if we're less than what we were the last time you saw us, check on us. And you know what? They did it. And these 3 were better in health, in attitude, and in the color of their skin, the looks. And they were impressed. So that's how they lived. And it was a setup because there was big trouble. A dream came, and one of them interpreted the dream. I'll finish this next time, but let me come to this place in our thinking about thinking. These knew how to think because they knew God. If they lived today, they'd be creationists. They'd be spirit-filled, spirit-baptized, powerful believers. And that's how they lived. Those four fellas, and I'll introduce you to them at another time. Well, let me give you their names. Daniel, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. And these four men, in reality slaves, high-level slaves, but they came and changed the entire political landscape of the nation that they lived in. How would you like to do that? You can. You have the potential. You have God on your inside, determined to change about the culture, everything you see that you know God doesn't like. Have at it. You'll be happy. I want to tell you about something that's coming up on our schedule in the month of March. We're going to Israel. Frida, my wife, has never been. I have not been in over 25 years. I'm looking forward to going. I wish I could openly invite you to come. You might be able to, I'm not sure. But Prepare International, a ministry of Randy Boyd and Drew Brown, one of the greatest, most influential ministries, ministering to Europe and now into Africa and other places. But we're going to Israel. We'll be leaving around the 12th and going through the 23rd. So, Israel trip. Pray for us. You might decide and be able to be a part of it. God bless.